friends, it's Rachel, the artist behind Vandals Folk Art. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. Today we're going to be painting all of these guys for my upcoming shop update. I have reindeers, these Johanna Parker spooky ghosts. I have a few of these little skeleton friends I need to finish. So we'll be working on these guys today. I'll be doing a few time lapses, and I will also be showing you guys some of the techniques that I use to antique these friends. I'll be using some of my homemade chalk paints along with some of my folk art paints and Martha Stewart paints to get these guys all finished up. This is part of an ongoing series that I'm going to be doing throughout Vlogmas, and getting back into the swing of making YouTube videos again. I know it's been a long time, but I have my new workstation set up, so I should be able to do more vlogs and more tutorials and things like that. I want to thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me today, and let's get started. All right, let's get started on this little guy. When I paint these guys, I like to give it a generous coat of paint when I paint them, because I had added a little bit of clay into the mix when I made this paint. And what that clay does, it's called kaolin clay, is it creates this kind of crackle chippy finish, and some of the thicker spots that you get as you're painting, if you have a little bit of a thicker spot on here, those spots tend to crackle, and it adds to the overall antique look and feel of the piece. See, like some of these areas I'll leave a little bit blank just so we can have that variation in the color when I go to wax stain it and seal it. One down. I think we got about 7 or 8 more to go. Okay, friends, these guys are all done. Let's put them on the drying rack. As soon as they're finished, we'll move on to the next step. Okay, now that I have gotten them all primed, I'm gonna go ahead and start painting their little hats on. I'll take you guys through the process of doing that. I'm gonna get their hats done and their little noses painted, and then after that, we're gonna move on to painting their little masks. Okay, we got the hats done. Now it's time to put on their masks, their little cheeks, and all the little detail work. And I will take you guys through the process as I do that. Let's get these noses. Nose. So cute. Okay, let's talk about distressing. The first step in my distressing process is to sand down the high spots where an item would typically get wear over time. I like to use a little bit of sandpaper and just hit a few spots here and there. As you can see, I'm sanding down the painted finish. I'm getting a little bit in the center, the top and side of the mask. And I want to hit that cheek just a little bit. And when I wear this down, you'll see as we get into the staining and paint distressing process, it adds a really nice touch. Okay, now it's time to get into the staining process. I like to use a homemade wax stain for this process that's a little bit watered down. I like to cover the entire piece, and once I'm finished covering the entire piece, you'll see I'm going to go back over it with a microfiber cloth and gently dab up the majority of the stain, leaving a little bit in those low spots and dips so that it looks like it's something that's been sitting on a shelf for a very long time, has been wiped over a few times with a dust rag, but overall it has that patina of age and like something that has been sitting around for a really long time. Okay, the next step in the distressing process is to add a tea stain. Basically what this does is it mimics the yellowing that varnish can get as it sits over time. I'm going to apply this all over the mask and in a few key locations on the hat and a little bit on his face. Okay, now it's time to add in his eyes, his mouth, and his handmade crepe paper ruffle trims. Okay, all finished. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and watching me make up these little guys. And I'll see you in the next one.